It's an attitude, a motivation, a deep-seated spirit. It's an inner strength to keep your feet planted firmly on the ground, no matter what presses against you. It's self-confidence. It's belief. It's a way of life. It's Fezek Athletics. Shop now at www.fezekeathletics.com to get your fitness gear now. Conquer your physique.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're listening to us from. This is the Men on the Podcast, episode 9, sponsored by Fezek Athletics. I'm here with a couple of my brothers. We got Frank, Greg, and I'm the host, Javon, aka Rock. So let's, first of all, how you fellas doing? Let's start off like that.
I'm good, man. I'm great.
Okay.
Bless.
Yeah, blessed. Um, well, I guess we'll just jump right into it. Not even what 3-4 weeks after the death of George Floyd, there was another death caught on tape in Atlanta, Georgia. Um, Rayshard Brooks, 27 years old, getting shot in the back by an Atlanta cop. What was his name? Like George Greg Wolf or something like that.
I'm not sure.
I think his last name was Wolf or something like that, or Ralph or something. At a Wendy's parking lot, after falling asleep in the drive-through, getting woken up by them, and answering their questions for like 41 minutes. Right, he was answering all of their questions for like 41 minutes, and when they tried to detain him, that's when it was a struggle. He resisted, grabbed the taser, I guess, from one of the cops, started running, reached back like trying to shoot the taser, which they say was empty. All the tasers was gone, and this Ralph, whatever his last name is, pulled out his gun and shot him. Shot three bullets, hit him twice in the back. Um, I mean, it's just like here we go again. You know, like it's just crazy, man. Like, what's y'all thoughts on that, man? This shit is crazy.
Um, I don't know. Like, for me, it's uh, put it like this. Like, I understand what everything up to the point where lethal force was used, and I don't want to do 50-50 hindsight or what's the name, but everything was like if he was inebriated behind the wheel, falling asleep, they did what they were supposed to, wake him up. Hey, what's going on? From there, I don't know, man. I don't know. Just like another life loss where I he didn't have a lethal weapon. He was running away. He didn't have a car. You could have got in your car and went after him. Like there's so many options, and I don't. I'm at a loss for words. To be honest, on a podcast, I'm lost for words. So I'm gonna give it to Frank.
I mean, I look at it. I'm looking at this thing at 3 different angles. I'm looking at it as who called the cops? Why were the cops called? Even if was the cops even called? We don't even know none of that, right?
I believe they did because he was just sleeping in the parking lot, and people had to go around him in the drive-thru.
Right, but you don't call the cops when somebody sleep in a parking lot. Like I'm trying to figure out who called the cops. Was it Wendy's that called the cop? Was it somebody in line that called the cops? Like, what was their purpose? I'm trying to figure out how the cops got there, right?
Yeah.
Right. So when they get there, right, he's asleep in a drive-thru. He has an Uber sticker on his car, right? So that's one thing. He's probably tired from driving. We don't know if he's door dashing or doing Uber Eats or whatever. You pull him to the side, you ask him, what's going on. They searched him. He didn't have anything. Everything was illegal, right? So what is the purpose of continuing to interrogate somebody that everything is clean, right? And for a cop to use his voice as an authority to, to demand this African American, like he's doing something wrong, but he's not. So any African American is going to feel defensive as soon as you try to approach them and try to interrogate them.
Yeah.
So you get into a tussle. He breaks away. He fights two cops. The one cop kind of literally just let it go. And he's just like, all right, he's about to get away. But then the other cops is like, no, like, I'm going to pull out my gun. I'm going to shoot him 2-3 times. I don't know how many times he shot him.
He shot 3 times and hit him twice. And another bullet hit another car. Hit a car that was
right.
just.
So, like, there's so much wrong with this whole scene that they're going to have to figure out. I mean, it's just like Greg said, this is a lot that's going on in the world right now, and for this to happen again,
not even a month, bro.
Not
like
even
3
a
weeks.
month. It's just like it's so confusing. It's like, okay, what's really going on?
Now, see, let me just say one thing, Frank. Like, I don't mind them talking to him. If he falls asleep in at the wheel, if he was driving and he say he was just tired or whatever it is, he's still a danger on the road. Like, that's like, you know what I'm saying? If he's passing out in the drive-through, then he could pass out while he's driving. So so I understand why they talk to him.
But they say that he said that he could call someone to come get him. Like, he moved the car to a parking spot.
Yeah, and from there, like, that's where I said that's where for me it gets confusing, because it's like, I understand why they did, because for public safety, that was like a public safety.
That's strange. It's strange somebody sleeping in the drive-through.
We understand all that.
But it's like, once we get past there to, okay, now we gotta take you in. Like, okay, are you arresting him, or are you just going to take him to a drunk tank or take him to get medical care to see if he's okay? Because, like, this has happened before where they think that someone's inebriated or high or something, and they passed out, but they could be in diabetic shock. You know what I mean? Their blood sugar is low. They haven't eaten in a while.
Right.
They're tired. They lack of sleep because they're trying to grind too hard. So,
but there's certain ways. There's certain ways to approach that. You're as a cop, your whole purpose is protect and serve. There's a protect first, and then you serve. So you got to figure out with this person, this African American, what is wrong. You ask them what's wrong. Do you feel as though can you drive? Can you cannot drive? Can you have somebody pick you up? Like, you ask some questions like that. Do you need an ambulance to come get you?
Yeah.
There's no tone in my voice. It shouldn't be no tone in his voice, period, of some type of harassment for Rayshard to feel as though like he's at threat.
But he was complying to them, answering their questions, like I said, for 41 minutes or so. He didn't start resisting until they tried to take him to jail. And at that point, he's like, look, I'm okay. Like, if you don't want me to drive, if you think that, like you just said, Frank, if I'm inebriated, I'm drunk, let me call someone. Let me, I can have someone come pick me up. If you don't want me to get behind the wheel of my car, I get that. To then, even though, it was funny, like he was giving that one cop work. Even though he got y'all off of him and he got up and was fleeing, and he reached back with the taser, and you're saying what the cop, his name's Garrett Ralph or whatever, said was he thought it was a gun because he's just seen a flash. He had the taser. It's clearly he had the taser. It has that yellow.
Right, but this is just the cop's justification to shoot. That's all. Everything it is. That's all it is. Even with the protests, they need some type of justification to shoot. Just like when they have the protests, they throw in these looters. They throw into these anti-TIF or whatever they call them.
Antifa. Well, Antifa's always been there.
Yeah,
they've been around for
right, but they put them in these places, into these movements and these marches, where now the black movement are the ones getting shot, not the Antifas or the looters or anything like that.
Yeah.
So this is just for them to do their justification just to shoot. Like my whole thing is, why would the cops call? Period. I lived in Philadelphia. You guys been in Philadelphia. I know I ride down Broad Street during the summertime and seen. I remember Greg. Remember that one time when somebody fell asleep at the light and we had to go around them? I don't know if you remember that. They're literally asleep at a light. Like, you know what I mean? People were literally just going around them.
Yeah.
Like, we let the cops figure, like I'm just trying to figure out why were the cops called? That's my whole
but
thing.
you
Like,
got
I don't,
if
that's
he
my
fell
thing.
asleep in a drive-through, like
That's a strange ridiculous.
any business is going to call about that because you're interrupting their cash flow.
Well, I mean, people
if you,
fell
'cause
asleep.
you
My
gotta
dad
think about
worked.
it.
Well, my dad worked at Taco. My dad worked
But
at
I'm
Taco
just
Bell and
saying, like,
KFC, and people. Go ahead.
You could tap on the window, like if you figure if they tapped on the window
Mm-hmm.
or like hey,
It's like an
excuse
employee
me,
from Wendy's. Yeah.
and he doesn't wake up, you could call
Well, that's what I'm saying.
911.
We don't know that.
But
That's what I'm saying. We don't know that.
Yeah,
we
that'll
don't
come
know
out. I
anything.
think
That's what I'm
that'll
saying.
probably come out later. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Go ahead.
If they did that, then like I can't put that on them because why get involved in a situation that like you don't get paid to do, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So all you're trying to do is say, hey, we can't do our job because this car's here. Let me call whoever
you know what I mean? Like my dad.
You just don't think it's going to escalate to that point.
Yeah, it shouldn't have escalated to that point.
Because you're calling to hey, I need this situation removed in some kind of way and capacity or figured out, whether it be ambulance.
I'm just trying to put myself. I'm just trying to put myself in that. I don't know who was the manager. Was a female or a guy? If me being a human being, if I see somebody fall asleep in the drive-thru, I'm not gonna ask an employee to go out. Me being a manager, I'm gonna go out and knock on the window. Hey, because it happened to my dad before, where he walked out. Somebody fell asleep in the drive. He literally knocked on the window. Was like, "Yo, what's going on?
You okay?
Like, are you okay? What's going on?" Like, and they literally just moved to the side. But that's the whole thing. Like, it's so much going on, and like
you're saying why even get the cops involved?
Well, yeah,
because you don't know.
Yeah, it's just
that
like,
unknown right
I
now.
don't want to bring any conspiracy theories or anything like that. It's just certain things. It's just stuff don't add up on certain situations. You know, I can understand the George Floyd situation where the cops got called because fake money or whatever. I can understand it, but drive through somebody falling asleep. It's just it's puzzling to me to find out somebody actually called the cops because somebody fell asleep.
But I don't think we'll ever find out. Frank.
Yeah,
because because the person that called, you gotta think about it. Like if they called with intentions of just making sure somebody's all right, and it ends with their life being lost. Now, like they don't want that vitriol from doing that. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's a video of someone after George Floyd's murder. Going into the shop that called the police.
Yeah.
And going in and going, hey, you did this, you called.
Yeah.
Didn't they release them?
It's like, no, but I mean, it's talking to the clerks, like the people that work.
Like you did this death is on your hand.
Your hand.
But that's what I said. The one in Minnesota, I thought they talked to the person that actually called, and they like kind of not dismissed them, but like removed them from, I guess, from work for a while.
I'm not saying charge. I'm talking about the people that live in that neighborhood.
They went into the store.
They went in the store and confronted the person.
Yeah.
So I would assume the person that called in this case is not going to sit there and be like, hey, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because you don't know what the backlash is going to be, and they might not have had intentions of anything. What's the name? They just might not wanted to deal with that situation if they felt as though they were ill-equipped as far as if you needed medical attention or what have you. Because you don't know, like, what's the name?
But
that's a tough part.
Didn't the chief of police from Atlanta resign?
Yeah, that's what I was about to get into. Like within 24 hours of the shooting, the mayor, Keisha Bottoms, she said like this wasn't a justified shooting, and she asked for the police chief, Erica Shields, to resign. And then like a couple of days ago, on the 17th of June, the district attorney of Atlanta, let me get his name so I can get that out right there. Hold on. What is his name? Paul Howard Jr. filed 11 charges against the Officer Rolfe, and one of them being including murder and aggravated assault. So and that got people saying like, are they responding too quickly? No, like you just literally seen this happen.
But let me just say this, right? You got to charge appropriately. You can't overcharge because what you want is the conviction.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when you overcharge for for crowd appeasal, that's how you get a Zimmerman.
Who you think this might be an overcharge? Yeah. I mean, murder was in there. That was murder, bro. Because did you guys see the video? Did you see it after he shot him? The cop went over there and kicked him and said, "I got him." Mm-hmm.
I saw the body cam, but the body cam dropped.
Nah, it was
so I didn't see the actual video.
I think it was the Wendy's.
I'm not disputing any what's name. I'm just saying as far as I want to see the convictions versus like super high charge. I just want to make sure justice is served.
That one's going to
those is going to stick, bro, because they made sure they looked at all the video prior to this. And that's what they're saying. They were saying not only because he didn't die right like as soon as they shot him, they was standing over. One was like standing on his shoulder, the other one was kicking him while he was dying. Like he didn't die as soon as the bullets.
So hold on. So I didn't see that part of it. I saw the part where
I seen y'all that link.
I seen the one where the cop actually shot him, and then said, "I got him." But then the other cop that didn't get any charge, because the other cop didn't get any charges yet.
Yeah, he did. He got some charge. What was his name? His name is Devin Bryson or whatever.
Because I heard him talk. It was a couple nights ago, and he was just saying like how that situation just escalated so fast. Like he literally was on CNN with Don Lennon was saying like he didn't want to pursue the whole pursuit or anything like that.
Yeah, he was gonna just like let him just like look.
Yeah, let
him run. Like
that one.
The thing is, you got all this information. You know where he lived. He was complying with you. He gave you his license. You had all this information. So even if he run, where's he gonna run to? Home.
So they got what? They got 4 cases. Mm-hmm. They gotta go to trial, right? They got the one in Atlanta, the girl.
Well, the Breonna one, they're trying to open that one back up. Breonna Taylor. I seen the commercial yesterday.
They didn't. I don't think
they opened it yet. Yeah,
they didn't charge all 3 of them, which is crazy because you entered the wrong apartment and started shooting. What would you gonna do when you entered the right apartment?
They shot her 9 times.
But they shot 22 times total, bro.
They shot her 9 times.
I know, but I'm saying, but they shot 22 times in the apartment. Why are you shooting that much? Who are you shooting at? That is 22 bullets.
Well, you shoot a female 9 times when they sleep.
How do you know you're not?
That's the crazy part.
How do you not know that you're in the wrong apartment?
It's hate. It's hatred towards African Americans. That's what it's.
This shit is crazy, bro. This shit is crazy. But they said, go ahead, Frank. My bad. Not my bad. Let me catch up.
It's like I said. It's hate. This has nothing to do with no.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was the wrong part, or I thought it was the right apartment. I felt it's hate. When you shoot somebody, and you shoot somebody more than if you shoot somebody one time, it's like okay, I'm trying to shoot this person. Shoot the second time is like I'm trying to wound this person so that my life is not as a threat. Mm-hmm. Then you shoot 9 times, it's like I'm just
no. 9 times, nine is just the amount they hit. Right, they shot 22 times.
Like
22 bullets going into this dark apartment where this young lady was sleeping. Of course she gonna jump up, be scared. If somebody run into my house right now, I'm gonna be scared. Man. I'm gonna jump up like what the hell? Imagine being asleep, woken up out your sleep like that.
It's sick, man.
No, go ahead, Greg.
I was just gonna say they got rid of no knock warrants in Louisville. So they did like
Louisiana.
Changes. Was that I thought it was Louisville.
Nah, Louisiana.
Louisiana. Yeah. So they are getting rid of like stuff is changing. So
a little too late though.
Like
these young people. Rayshard Brooks, 27. Breonna Taylor, she just had a birthday too. I don't know off the top of my head how old she was. I think she was like in her 20s. Like these, I mean, it don't matter what age you are, but because George Floyd was over 40. But like these black people just dying, man, just senseless. Like it's just, it's like, damn, here we go again. Like that, when I seen that, I was like, well, damn, here we go again. We just, like you figured this time the cops would be more like, like, well, you know what? Let me be more careful.
That's the puzzling thing to me. It's like, we in a war within itself. Like, these cops should already be like, you know what? Like, now I'm gonna let things slide, but it's like you gotta be
sure. Like before I even pull this
things.
weapon or do
Right, so that's why,
anything,
right. So like this why this whole thing puzzles me, because it's like I'm not gonna say I'm a conspiracy theory and I believe in all these other crazy stuff, but it's
think
just
outside.
like
you gotta think.
you gotta think outside the box. It's
Yeah.
like, why would the cops there in the first place? Is this stuff being staged where we have to have these black killings, like, for the world to wake up? Like, I don't know. It's just crazy because it's happening back to back to back. When something happens, when you get in trouble, you learn from that mistake. You're like, okay, I'm not gonna do that again. I'm gonna be careful.
Exactly.
But then it's like,
exactly right.
Then it's like,
exactly
it's
right.
back to back to back to back. Like
it's a dog. These cops, man, and this, we'll close out on this. But these cops, man, it's a power thing with them, bro.
Like, it's a hatred. It's a hatred.
I mean, that's all rolled into that. That's all rolled into that power. They feel like because and I'm sorry to say this, I'm not, but it's that's that white supremacy. Like, I have the power. I have this uniform on, this badge, so you do what I tell you to do when I tell you to do it, and don't question me, don't resist. If you do, you could die.
Let me go on another avenue too on that one, because I was talking to this is like his second shout out on the show. I was talking to Pete and we were talking about that.
Shout out to Pete.
As we were talking about it, we were talking about how they got to deal with a lot. If you peel back and look at what for every situation you call, like he brought up, he's like, yo, like my in-laws had a snapping turtle in their backyard. He's like, so they called 911. They sent a cop. Well, what's the cops gonna do?
Yeah,
I could do what the cops gonna do.
Yeah.
Why ain't you calling SPCA?
Who is calling the cops?
Well, they call 911. They don't. But what I'm saying
not
the cops. 911 could be ambulance, but they just send cops out.
When and it takes us to another situation where they talking about defunding like
the police.
But they're trying to make that. They're trying to make that as black. Like, they're trying to make that
Black Lives Matter. Yeah, like right, that's what
we want some type of justice. Like, we're not.
They don't care about the money because they don't need money to kill us.
Yeah, like, hold on, but see, this is the thing. But this is the thing. Them spreading it out as far as making it so like there are more people in hand that can help with, because a lot of times there's a lot of mental health issues going on, and they're not trained to deal with that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like
say that again.
They're not trained to deal with people with mental health issues. They're not trained to deal with.
It should be though.
A lot of you would think it'd be a requirement, but it's not a requirement in every department. So, and then like recognizing stuff as far as like certain situations, a lot of them aren't. They just train to.
Hold on, not to cut you off. Is a requirement not in the departments that have to that deal in urban neighborhoods? Because if you go into a suburb,
and I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, like, as far as like they're called for almost every community they're in to be end all be all, and it's impossible for any one entity to be an end all be all, because you got to remember when they gave them all that extra funding, when Clinton hired 100,000 new cops, bro, I'm putting 100,000 cops on the street. Well, the money had to come from somewhere, so that was social workers. That was like your
cutting there, cutting all that,
that was all those things that society needed. But they said, nah, we're gonna do this instead. So that how they justify their job was putting people in jail. You know what I'm saying? So that's where as really as a government,
which is a business in itself. Putting people in
that's why a lot of people think Bill. That's why they say a lot of people think Bill Clinton was a good president. Like, he put a lot of blacks in jail.
Oh yeah, straight route. But when instead of like, yes, we need legislation, but we also need to make, when you defund it, take away quotas. It shouldn't be a speeding ticket quota. It shouldn't be I gotta talk to or arrest or shouldn't be none of that.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be
there's a lot of
required for
loopholes.
That determines their funding. They're not meeting these quotas, don't get this funding.
I'll take it to another parallel. It's like standardized testing in schools. It's not really informative for the kid. It's just how you get money.
You see Bad Education? I'm sorry. You ever see that movie Bad Education?
Nah.
I seen that, John.
No, I haven't.
Crazy.
The education system
millions. Millions.
But what I'm trying to get to is the point of when you put quotas and minimums and making a crab in a barrel scenario for the whole country to get money, this is what you get. You know what I'm saying? You get people that think, okay, if I do this, then hey, we're gonna get those new Dodge Ram Sports on the street. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have the new tactical gear.
Tanks. It's got the police department need tanks for it.
But we'll get back to what you were saying though, with the, you know, how do you deal with a mental challenged person? You try to calm them down. Like if you don't know,
but they're not trained in that.
I'm not trained. Look, I'm not trained in that, and I'm not, you know, certified to do, you know, to
yeah, but you don't come off on a power trip either, though.
Right, but as I'm saying though, as a human being, it's like, okay, you know, as a mentally challenged person, you're trying to calm that person down. You
gotta be calm. Yes.
Right? Yeah, you gotta be calm. I'm not gonna try to come and try to arrest you and try to hold you down and try to, you know, escalate the situation. You know, as a cop, you gotta be like, that's, I don't know. When you say common sense or something, like it's just crazy because it's like, I don't know. I have
as somebody that wears a uniform, I've been in a situation where I've had people with mentally unstable like come after me, and as calm as you can be, you still are in a thought of like, yo, like what the, like, so it does become fight or flight, and sometimes like bad instincts take over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like that's what I'm saying. Like if you're not trained, like me, I know it because my wife deals with it. So she works in that field. So she told me, hey, where you work at, it's a lot of people with some issues. Be careful. Okay, cool. So I was aware. So I knew Cat had problems. I just got him away from me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But but if you're talking to somebody that isn't aware or isn't knowledgeable, like you're assuming everybody has the same knowledge, and it's not. That's not true because not everybody.
But hold on, Greg. So let's say you had a firearm. Would you pull out your firearm on somebody who you would come up to you in these situations?
Put it like this. Every time I've been like confronted on the street and then I had a situation, like I prepared myself for okay, let me just band my mail up. You know what I mean? Put it in the bag just in case something goes off. I could defend myself. But my main goal, like at the time I was speaking, a gentleman followed me. I explained to him like, hey, you don't have to follow me. I know where you live. You want your mail? I'll be there in 5-10 minutes. And like, I'll be there in 5-10 minutes.
Must have been the first of the month.
Nah, he was a person off his medicine.
Okay.
And he was just like, hey, you know, like he started cursing at me. So as he's cursing at me, I'm like, man, got chill out. You know, so I'm walking, and he's just yelling, cursing. So I used to deliver to his hairdresser. So I popped in there, and they just see him yelling and cursing. They like, yo, don't go back out there. So I called my supervisor. I told him what happened. They were like, yo, don't go back outside. Don't escalate the situation. Just sitting there. We'll send somebody over to get that mail. They'll deliver that block. Wait for him to leave. But he wasn't going to leave. You know what I'm saying?
He's gonna wait for you to come back out.
Yeah. So I just walked out. I was just like, look, if I come around that block and you outside, nobody's getting mail. And he's like, I don't care. I was like, that's cool. I'm glad you don't. But the person waiting for their check on that block cares. And when they ask me what happened the next day, I'm gonna tell them your name and your address, and they're probably gonna come talk to you about it. And he was just like, and I was like, okay, cool. When I came around the corner, he was in the house. You know what I'm saying? So like,
but I understand that you calmed him down. But let's say you felt threatened, and like these cops, they have these guns, they have this.
But see,
would you? And that's what I'm saying. You're mentally,
yeah, I have to. You know what I mean? My job is they tell us like, hey, just get out of the situation.
Mhm.
Right, you
That's
get
not
out
the
the
business we're in.
situation. I'm
Which
not
is what
pulling a
cops
Yeah.
should
gun.
be the same way. Like, look,
Yeah, I'm
you
not
can't
pulling no gun
de-escalate
out.
it. Instead of escalating it, go into like you did. Go into a place where you feel safe. Call for backup. That way, we have everyone there, and everyone can vouch it. Like, all right, we're trying to de-escalate this situation. You're not going to be the judge, jury, and execution like all in one.
But you know what ends up happening? They like all of them get there and they just
Gang
start
up
dumping
on them.
on. Yeah, so it's
Yeah, man. And another fucked up thing is that I guess this was the lieutenant. I don't know if you guys seen this video. The lieutenant came up, and granted, he coming up to a scene and just knowing that his officer shot someone. He don't know, the whole story. Like if this guy had a gun, if he thought he had a gun. So he comes up to a scene, black guy, and was like, "Hey, how are you doing? Are you okay? Is your wife?" Like basically not coming up like, "Well, we did this again." Like, hold up, why are we doing this? He came up like consoling the officer, like, "Hey, you okay?" Like, okay, all right, yeah, everything.
It's a lot of stuff that they have to clean up, and we can't even trust our own people that's in these certain
I would have came up
positions.
like, "Yo,
Level.
again, bro? Like, really?"
That's what I'm saying. So I mean, it's a lot of loopholes, a lot of things they're gonna have to figure out, man, because
You could do
it's.
something different, like.
I mean, like I was explaining to my wife, like you have two sets of cops, right? You
Mhm.
have a cop where somebody from a different ethnic background is getting placed into a community that he has never been into, right?
Mhm.
Then you got a white supremacy cop that's getting put into these neighborhoods as well. So how do you screen two separate cops? You got one cop that's never been
you
in the
can.
neighborhood, but he has no hatred. He's just pulling his weapon because he's never been in this situation.
Yeah.
Then you got another white cop, a white supremacy cop that have hatred and is like can't wait to pull out his gun. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So how do you? That's why I was asking Danny, my wife, the other night. I'm like, how do we go out? How do we go to try to fix this or go try to handle it? Because we got two separate situations we're trying to
Well, you got
fix.
to put the police in the neighborhoods of
But how do
people
you screen them?
who people who come from the neighborhoods.
Screening to me, screening is easy, right? Because like it literally, it's like, all right, I go and tell you what the test I took with the postal service. It's a bunch of reiterated questions that are the same thing, but they're asking you 20 different ways with this like little movements of words, but it's the same question. So
Everybody
if
could be. You
the
could be a good test taker and be
Well,
like,
exactly. Yeah, right.
I would do this.
You
I would
prove
do.
it. That's what I'm saying. You prove my point.
yeah.
You prove my point. You proving my point. So when I was talking to my wife about the situation, you guys seen the movie Departed, right?
Mm-hmm.
You seen when
Mm-hmm.
Matt Damon went undercover and infiltrated the FBI.
Mm-hmm.
So they can do the same exact thing and pass the screening and get into these positions. That's what I'm saying. Like, how do we? It's deep. Like, how do we handle that?
I mean,
You see what I'm saying now? Like,
You got to get people from the neighborhoods to police the neighborhood. They have to
it's
join.
tough,
It has
man.
to be some way to
It's tough, man.
screen those people out. Like, like what neighborhood did you grow up in? And do background checks and see, like, oh,
It's
this
tough.
person's address has always been in this zip code.
It's
Like,
they can check. They could do testing. They could do.
If the mob can infiltrate police,
they
that's
have
tough. They figure out something.
They got facial recognition because a lot of people post photos now.
Mm-hmm.
You could trade like they can do a lot. If
I know. I know when I tried to get in the FBI and I looked at that freaking list, and you couldn't be in no kind of type of debt. You couldn't have no child support. You couldn't have like
misdemeanors, nothing.
Like nothing. I'm like,
yeah,
this is I can't apply for this job. So they have to do that
you
for cops. They got to do that for cops as well. They got to have some type of list, like, you know what I mean?
Because if you don't have anything that can be leveraged, you're fine. Like
Exactly.
That's everything that can be leveraged against you.
Yep.
Somebody could go, hey,
I'll pay you this amount. You thinking like, oh, I got this debt, I gotta pay sure.
Yep.
Like,
yeah,
it's tough, man. Like that's what I was saying. Like, I don't know how they're gonna go try to handle this, and and fix it. It's just, I don't know. It's just a whole mess, man. And I just pray to God they try to figure this out or try to come to some type of agreement, because like I said before, and I keep saying it, sitting down and listen to this verdict, man, it's going to be tough.
Well, now we got 2 to listen to, or 3, or hopefully if they reopen that Breonna Taylor case, justice for Breonna Taylor. In the link,
about to go get my license.
Oh, I already got that. And the
you gotta send me that link. You gotta send me that link.
I will, bro. But the link for the justice for Breonna Taylor, because I seen the commercial the other night. I'll put that in the description below, where you can call the Attorney General and the Mayor of Louisiana, wherever they're from, to have that case reopened. Rest in peace to Breonna Taylor. Rest in peace to Rayshard Brooks. Rest in peace to George Floyd and everyone who's lost their life to this senseless stuff. Another thing, speaking on fixing, these voting situations, Greg.
Hey, Rock.
What's up, bro?
Hold on. It's Louisville, Kentucky.
Is it Louisville, Kentucky?
Yeah, it's Louisville.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, Louisiana. Didn't mean to put y'all in Louisville, Kentucky. Thanks, Greg, for that fact check. Another thing we got to fix, though, is that these voting situations, Greg.
Why I say Greg?
No, because I know we a couple podcasts ago we was talking about that, the importance of voting, but then you got people like there was in Atlanta a couple weeks ago when they had the primaries and
waiting for 5 hours.
Only in the urban neighborhood.
It's gerrymandering at its best, man. You close polls, make it more difficult for people to vote, and
to blame it more on black folks.
They not showing up. Yeah.
But you know how you fix that? You make it a holiday. You make it a paid day off. Guess what? You don't have a problem. So like it's a simple fix. Like there's a lot of other countries that voting day it's a paid day off. Your civic duty. It's civic duty to go vote.
But you think they can fix? You think they can fix it by like looking at the calendar and saying, okay, Thanksgiving and Christmas falls on a week, on a weekend.
You can keep the November.
Thanksgiving's always Thursday. The last Thursday.
You can keep the November date. So you keep the November date, right? What happens is you got to make a fixed date for everybody's
whatever election date is. That's
okay.
Yep.
So when they would say you got to make one date for the whole 2 dates for the whole country that are paid days off. And your civic duty, the way you get paid is you have to have proof that you voted. It's simple.
It's like jury duty.
Yep. It's really easy.
Yep. It's just like jury duty. If you get selected for jury duty, you gotta have proof that you did.
It's not complicated at all.
Yeah. Like, that's a good point, Britt.
And then what happens is then you can stop gerrymandering because the people are voting now, and they can go, well, no, our district, we got this amount of people. We got so many more people than this district. Because I guarantee you, if you go into the counties of Georgia, they ain't got like all Bucks.
Yeah, the boots.
Say Bucks County, right? And where we live in PA, they ain't got all Bucks County voting in Salem. You know what I'm saying? They got
there's boots all over the place.
Why would you have Atlanta all voting? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, come on now. It's because
they'll find another
another way to make it hard.
Exactly.
Yes,
just the same.
Not working.
Just the same way back in the day when we was only 3/5 of a person, so we couldn't really vote, and then they switched it.
Back in the day,
and then they switched it to, okay, you know what? They're voting now. Let's try to, like you said, have them in line for 5-6 hours, or
see who is staying and wait and do that. Yeah.
It'll be something else.
But this is how you do it, Frank. You get the legislation of any state and or the Congress and Senate to like remove gerrymandering, make it illegal, because both sides. See, this is the thing. Both sides will do it, but the Republicans will do it to a level that is like, you know what I mean? You ever like play with somebody, you tap them, but like when they hit you, like you like yo, I just touched you. Like, that's how they do it. So like somebody might go like, all right, we're gonna take a little bit. They like, nah, man, we taking the whole kit and noodle. Like we taking everything. We ain't leaving nothing for nobody.
Right.
That's what it has to be. They got to go in, put fair districts. I actually signed up for fair districts. I'll send you the email for Pennsylvania, where the lady's trying to get it so the legislation in Pennsylvania gets rid of gerrymandering. You just set a square. That's your square, man. Like, you ain't got to make a skinny here, fat up here, like all that bull job. Like, nah, here's your square. If you win, you win. You don't, you wasn't the best candidate. Nobody was feeling you, you know, and that's how you go about getting it done. But like I said, it takes an informed voter to get that stuff done. Like, if you're not informed about it and you're not reading about it or knowing about it, this is what you end up with. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you're not holding those officials accountable for it. Like, hey, yo, why don't we have enough precincts here? We got more of a population than the rest of Georgia. How the hell are we all voting out of one joint? You know what I mean?
Well, you know that. You know, it's not just in Georgia this happens. We know
it happens everywhere.
Everywhere.
But the Georgia's was like
extreme.
But you know what? Florida did the same thing. If you go back and look, Florida had people waiting in lines.
We're talking about recently on this recent one.
Oh, the last election.
The last one.
Oh yeah. I know. The presidential one. Yeah. Or was it that one or the Bush one? Right? Or it's been all of them.
No, that's the one.
The Bush one was the funky one. That was the funky
recount.
One. But So, but like I said, like it's showing up every time, man. You can't just show up for a presidential. You have to show up for non-presidential every year. Exercise it. It's like a muscle. You exercise it, get stronger. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So you keep exercising.
I totally agree.
It works.
It becomes part of life.
And then you start getting other. You start, and it's I don't know, man. I'm going.
It's like you're not gonna work a muscle when you want to work it. Like, the muscle don't grow that way.
Exactly. And if you want the change,
okay, Frank. I see you sound like you're coming around. So you're gonna be at the next
no, I'll vote. Right? I'll vote when they get a black woman in there. Cause I know damn well they get a black woman there. Michelle's gonna get done.
You calling for Michelle Obama to run for president?
Yo, what's the other lady? What's her name? That Biden's running mate. What's her name? Rice?
I don't think did he name anybody yet?
Condolence Rice?
Well, I think not her. Not her.
I was like, what?
I heard her talk last night.
Condolence Rice?
No, not her.
About to say.
Her last name is Rice, but it's some other. She's from New York. She sounds like Obama. Like, and they say that Biden might choose her as a running mate. So, I mean, when this world get a black woman and the president in the Oval Office, stuff will get done.
But like, once again, exercise your muscle, man. You gotta start now. You gotta start small.
Man.
I'm telling you, it's baby steps. So you like put it like this: if you want legislative change, and be it where you live, right, in your local community, you do it now. So then that begets somebody else going into your state legislator, help you in the state. That person may get into the federal level.
Like 60 years old by the time I get there.
Hold on, Frank. Hold on. You mean Suzanne Rice?
Yeah, Suzanne Rice.
But you got kids, and one day hopefully you're blessed with grandkids. So you're doing it. You're not doing it just for you. You're doing it for future generations of your family. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what you got to look at. You can't look at it like the short period.
Right, but I look at the facts where laws have been changed because of movements. That's how I look at things.
That's one factor. Also, that is
a factor. But like minds, see, this is the other thing you gotta go on, and I preach this to everybody. If you look like right now, just Americans in general, we're a piece of graph paper, right? Everybody's in a little dot in that graph paper because they divided everybody between race, religion, or sexual orientation, political affiliation. Like it's so many things.
Yeah.
And for the government, as long as they keep us in those little pinholes, we're like in little cubicles where we can't see everybody. Everybody's like, "Oh man, well you're the problem. You're the problem." Move the cubicles, bro. If you remove it, and everybody just votes interest, like, you know what I'm saying? Like when I see somebody that's in a union vote Republican, I'm like, bro, they union bust. They are against your wage. They want to break your union to suppress your wage, regardless of who you
I just
like.
don't like the fancy votes. That's the whole thing. I like I want to see. I mean, I know that I have to go out of my way to go see these local people to actually know. Okay, I have to vote, for these certain people. I know that, but like, I mean, I don't look at anybody different or wrong or anything like that. People that vote, they have their reasons, and I give them that. It's just, for me, it's just a lot of things that's in the government that has to be fixed. That is.
But if you get people in there that vote what you believe and you think is
that loophole. I mean, but that.
But that's what I'm saying. You don't trust them. You say you think that they're saying that just to get your vote. Then they get in there and they fall right in line with what the
like it's tough because it's always
that's a fear. A lot of
the next person.
Okay.
It's like the next person.
Think about this. Remember when after Trump got elected, like all the Republican officials came back after they did like tax cuts, trying to take healthcare and did all that crazy stuff. And these people told them straight up, like, bruh, you will not be back because we won't vote for you because this is what you did. We're holding you accountable. And as voters, when we do that and we exercise that voting muscle, they listen. Because after that vote, after they were threatening to take the Obamacare out, and people were like, nah, you ain't going to have a job, Hoss. Guess what? They peeled back off that vote. Hey, we're going to take Obamacare. We're going to repeal it. They were like, oh, nah, we good. Don't even worry about it. Hoping to keep their job because their job was affording them a whole bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you. We still have, though we don't have the power because America as a whole doesn't vote conscientiously and for the greater good of mankind. So you still have enough power where you can sway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, certain.
You can sway. You can, and when you let people know, if you get a large enough segment, a lot of times that's why you see a lot of people do signatures online and stuff like that to get stuff done. And that could be a silent type movement. You know what I'm saying? Because you get 200,000 signatures on something, they gotta look at that and go, oh snap, okay, they got enough. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think the requirement is like 1,000. You get anything over that, and that's greedy, I think. And you can make changes, but a lot of times these lawmakers, they don't know what's on your mind or your issue unless you put it in front of them and say like, hey, I think this is a problem in my community, which you serve. How can we go forward and do something about it? You know what I mean?
But my thing is, it's like, okay, how does LGBTQ or LGBT?
You better get that right, bro. Better get LGBTQ
get laws changed during a Black Lives Matter, where the law changed that they can't get job discrimination.
Yeah.
What about African Americans? Like, we go through that every single day.
But we're not supposed to, though. That's something
it's illegal too. It's illegal for us too.
That's illegal. Yeah, that's
I don't understand how they pick and choose what laws they want to.
Well, you got to think about it, and and this is something that I talked about. The LGBTQ, you got to think they have people in place in these offices. So if they have an issue, this person's in that group with them. They're going to put that on the floor. Like, look, we can't get discriminated against. We can't, because they're also a part of that community. Black Lives Matter, we don't have people in there. We do. We have some people, but we don't have the majority. We don't have enough right now to say, like, look, we need to stop what we're doing, and we need to really change these laws.
But also think about it like this too, right? They can blend in.
Yeah.
So LGBTQ member who's like,
I remember you mentioned that they can blend in.
Regular white dude, whatever.
Yeah.
Blend in.
Yeah.
And he could get stuff done.
Yeah.
And what's saying, and whereas us, other ethnicities can't. It is.
Yeah. We get our black leaders in there talking. They saying that they irate and they.
I heard Did you guys hear that press conference Trump had where he had those African Americans talking?
Them cool
Oh my God!
priests that he be having pastors
oh my-
coming in there. Man, if you don't
I
get
don't know
them,
who they were. I know it was 2 guys and a female.
they supposed to be
I was
like
just
pastors, I think. Man, get that. You don't get that hell out of here. Oh, he's done more for the black man.
I said, what?
Oh, puppet.
I said, wow. I don't know, man.
Here. No, I don't watch shit like that, man. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
like, he just said a couple weeks ago, if you loot, we shoot. Like, come on, man. Like, but he do a lot for the black. Like, but no president has ever said nothing like that. No president. Against American people, man. Like, you're gonna say something like that?
That's Trump for you.
All right, man. Y'all already got you getting my blood boiling now talking about that. All right, let's end it. With our sports topic. To everybody out, to all the listeners, we normally come in here. We try to do, we want to do upbeat topics. We want to do, sports topics.
Hopefully soon.
But with the current, climate and the way the nation is going, man, we can't. We have to be. One of the things of being a man of honor is we got to come in here and we got to talk about, these issues. So, all right. So, the NBA. They have the proposal to restart. Kyrie and Dwight Howard, the only two that don't want to play.
You hear what Kyrie said though? Kyrie was like, "Yo, start your own league."
but you heard what Kendrick Perkins said, right? Like, you take Kyrie's brain and put it in the bird gonna fly backwards.
Kyrie, I'm not listening to anything Kendrick Perkins say because he was in his driveway trying to dribble.
But no, what are you doing? No, but what he was saying is, okay, Kyrie, we understand, but what's your plan? What's the action? Like, what are you proposing?
I'm not listening to anything Kendrick Perkins says.
I mean, I understand what he was saying. Like, the whole Kyrie, he apologized for that. Kendrick, he apologized for saying that about Kyrie. But his whole thing is, like, everybody's, most people, is like, okay, you don't want to go down there and play because you're saying we need to,
But Dwight Howard said the same. I mean, Dwight Howard had an opinion where he was just like, why are we going? What's the mission for us to go back? You know what I mean? I don't see other players talking about NBA losing money. I hear a lot of people that's owners and people that, was it the CBA losing money? But I don't hear players saying, I'm gonna lose money, because Dwight Howard was like, okay, he kind of agreed with Kyrie. He was like, what is the purpose of going back and keeping us in this one,
bubble?
Bubble. And as a player, he has the right to say that.
Of course, nobody's saying that wrong.
Nobody said it was wrong.
No.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just like, I don't know.
But put it like this. So, right, like, Kyrie wasn't coming. He can't come because he's not playing.
Right.
So, like, he said all those comments, like, after.
But he wanted to come. But after he told he couldn't come.
Yeah. After he want, like, hey, I'm going. Nah, Kyrie, you can't come. Well, you know what? Start a new league. Like, play, bro. Like, what you?
Like, we're trying to keep the contamination down, bro. Like, you ain't playing. What do you need to be there for? Like.
And I'm not doing it to make light of what Kyrie said, but what I'm saying is, like, there's a mathematical ramification for not playing, and Kyrie's on the board,
vice president,
and so he knows the ramifications of it. You ain't say it in the meeting.
They say he's on a call with like 90 players, and he really wasn't speaking.
They said the second call was on. The second call, I think Stephen A. reported he's on the second call. It was like less than 60, so it dropped off the second time he was talking to people. People wasn't feeling it. So,
like Pat Bev say, if LeBron playing, bro,
that's what it's for. I mean, that's what that means.
Real rap.
That's the whole purpose of it. They don't need to get him another ring.
Man, stop that, man.
No,
come on now.
Stop
right.
it,
you got the logistics.
That's the
of
purpose, to get him another ring so they can throw this whole nother statistic every year.
I'm telling you now, Frank, if you was in the league and they was talking about going down there to play to get paid, you would be down there playing.
No. Let me pose
look at his face. He like, yeah, I'd be down there. You be down there.
Oh, let me ask you, Frank. So you got a supermax contract, right? You all like, yo, I don't want to play. As soon as the agent tells you, yo, if you don't go down and play, if nobody plays, they're gonna rip that super. They're going to rip that supermax contract up.
Yeah,
they're ripping it up. So you like, is there an option?
It's a dirty business. Either way,
it's not dirty. It's
you know, either way, you're not gonna win. Like, if I don't play, okay, now you're gonna rip my contract up. Like,
but hold on.
You still have a platform to speak out on the issue.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm about to say. Because the NBA will give you that platform. They're not saying you can't say anything. You can't. Yeah.
It just ain't the NFL that's like,
forcing them to play. That's the thing. They're
not forcing them to play. They cannot play. They can rip up the CBA. They can be like, look, we're not playing. Fuck that CBA. Like, they can say that.
But they jeopardize, like Greg said, they jeopardizing their contracts. Like, when you start doing that,
but they have that right.
Like, right, that's what I'm saying. Now they have to play because it's like, all right, I got family, I got a fee.
Because the NBA need them more than they need the NBA. NBA needs them.
Adam
Silver, so you're saying don't play.
I'm saying play. I want them to play.
Hold on. Adam Silver said you're free to not play.
Mm-hmm.
The legal start, but you're free not to play, and you won't be fined, and your contract won't be ripped up. But like,
you're not getting paid.
They're going to have this season, so they want everybody else in there.
Yeah.
If you don't play, that's on you.
If you want to play, show up. If you don't, stay home.
What if nobody plays? What if nobody shows up?
Oh, well, the main players are showing up.
Look, hey, Frank. As soon as you see those players not show up, all you're gonna see is owners like, if nobody shows up, it's gonna be
CBA gone.
But that's what I'm saying. With the NBA going, or the contract is done, or the contract is written.
Yeah,
the CBA,
the collective bargaining agreement. They'll have to come and renegotiate a new one.
And I guarantee you, like,
they're gonna put this in place. It's gonna be a lot less than what they're getting.
Yep, and
that's what I'm saying. So
Stephen A. reported they're going after a salary cap, hard salary cap.
Yeah,
Stephen A. already reported that. Like, so
that's what I'm saying.
They would have to because they're gonna lose billions if they don't come back.
You're giving them an ultimatum. That's
it's
what
not
an
ultimatum. It's business.
It's
business.
Right, and that's what I'm saying.
It's not dirty. Like, it's not dirty.
Hold on, real quick. Last example. Let's just say we all got jobs. If our jobs say, like, look, we know that this part is going back green. They say, all right, well, you either you come to work or you get fired. It's your choice. You don't have to come back. But
ultimatum.
But that's not ultimatum. We're opening back up. We're opening back up business.
Right,
you have the right not to play.
You put somebody's life at risk if I come back to work. And if that person catch it, they can't sue. They're gonna sue you.
But not if they're taking these precautions that like
you can take any precaution. You can take any precaution. Like if my job open back up and they say, okay,
I can't agree, bro. I've been working this whole time going into an office,
right? Because
you once.
That's what I'm saying. Because you have
to check me once,
right? Because you got a house to pay for. You got kids you got to take care of. So you have to.
You
have to. That's
so,
what I'm saying.
Like nursing homes and hospitals were literally trying to check mail carriers' temperatures. What they did was the post office stopped it. They were like, "No, don't get your temperature checked at all. No."
Wow.
You know what happened?
Why did they say that?
Guys started to see, like, a couple guys got like high temperatures, like a fever.
Mm-hmm. Can't come in. Yeah.
They called out
Can't
for
come
2
in.
weeks. They self-quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
So they saw like the NBA is going to literally be the safest place in Florida.
No one's allowed to come. Once you're in there, you're in there. You can't leave, can't come in. Yeah.
They're going to have like a billion tests to give to everybody.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like they
not for real, bro. Like this.
They got their own private medical center.
I seen that girl from WNBA set out. She's like, I'm setting out. It's too much,
Well, she has that right. She has that right. If you don't look, you got ultimatum. Either you come in, or you don't. We open it. That's all I can tell you. Business as usual.
But is it like?
I'll tell you this. Everybody with a supermax contract, I guarantee will be in Orlando, Florida.
And all those with those aspiring ones after this year, like Chris Paul and all that, they gonna be in Orlando, Florida.
They gonna be in their cash, bro.
Yeah,
like
it's a dirty business.
Put it like this: if people are doing it for less, you don't think somebody gonna do it for more?
Shit, for real. 35 million. I'm in there, bro.
Bro, like
what we testing? We're the testers. All right, I'm here. All right, good pod, fellas. Good pod. Again, I'd like to give some shout outs to some of my fellow brothers who is not here. Erik Castano E, Joe Baranski, Hey Joe, and Eric Whitford. He hasn't been here, so you guys really don't know his face. But shout out to all those guys. They had other obligations to take care of tonight. Great pod, fellas. You guys be safe out there. Stay safe.
Y'all too.
All right, until next time. It's the Men on the Podcast signing out.
All right.
All right, fellas.
Later.